Welcome to DIYEasyCrafts.com, how to make your own outdoor sea turtle out of paper mache. And this is a special outdoor weather resistant paper mache. We're going to start with a cement board called HardieBacker, very water resistant, and we're also going to use foam insulation, which is a very important part of the whole process. We're going to attach the foam to the Hardie board. First we're going to cut the Hardie board out. I cut it out with a wet saw, but there's several ways of cutting Hardie board, and you can check out my other video on how to do that. I'm then going to glue that foam insulation to the Hardie board. I just used a hot glue gun. Put a few drops of glue along the whole outside diameter, and then just press the foam into it. And then I just used a long serrated kitchen knife to start to carve that foam into the shape of the turtle's shell. And I'll do the same thing for the head and for each of the fins. So for this type of paper mache, we're not going to use the paper mache to create the form. We're going to use the foam to create the form. And we're just going to use the paper mache or the mortar mix, outdoor paper mache mix, to create a waterproof or weather-resistant barrier or shell over that foam. So here I'm just carving the head. I'm really just trimming all of the sides, down, cutting out a little notch for the mouth. This is a very easy carving. Rounding off the head and rounding off all of the sides. And then I'm going to do the exact same thing for the fins. I'm going to glue a thinner piece of the foam on, with the hot glue gun, and then I'm going to use the same knife to start to carve that down into the shape. Really just rounding most of the hard edges, etc. Now it's time for the paper mache. Now this is a kind of a unique mix. We use FlexBond mortar, which is normally used for ceramic tile projects. I got this down at Home Depot, but certainly Lowe's would carry the same product, and several other stores. We're going to coat both sides of each strip of paper completely with that FlexBond mortar mix. And you want to overlap each sheet and cover the entire sculpture or the entire project. You also want to do this 2 times. You want to end up with 2 coats of paper over the entire project. It actually goes pretty quickly depending on the size of the paper strips you use. Highly recommend using gloves. I did it without gloves a couple times, and it's much easier cleanup when you're wearing gloves. But it really doesn't take all that long to cover the entire project with this FlexBond mortar mix. And once it is completely covered, I like to paint it with an additional layer of just that mortar mix over the top of the paper mix that you've already applied. And of course, on this particular sculpture, we're also going to have to do the back, so I suspended mine on some poles, on some sticks. The turtle that I'm working on is going to be an outdoor bird feeder. So after the mortar mix completely dried, I'm going to use some acetone. I'm going to pour it down through the hole, and this is where the birds are going to enter the birdhouse. And that acetone is going to melt away that styrofoam, leaving a cavity. Now, if you're not making a bird feeder or any type of sculpture that needs a cavity, you can skip this process. You do not have to dissolve that styrofoam. In fact, it's really nice to leave the styrofoam in there. It makes it a little bit more rigid. If you are going to dissolve the styrofoam, you're going to have to pour the acetone in a few times and mix it around a little bit. Mine can pour out the drain holes that I have on the bottom, but you could also pour it out. It pours out as a liquid right out through that same hole. That acetone evaporates very quickly, but you do want to rinse it out also with water, and you want to do this entire process in a very well vented area or outdoors, just because of the fumes. Now the final stage in this weatherproof outdoor paper mache project is to give it a really good coating, probably 2 coatings, of a high gloss outdoor enamel. And this is really important because this is what's going to prevent any moisture from even getting through to that mortar. So we want to coat the entire project, at least 2 coats, nice and heavy coating of a high gloss enamel, outdoor exterior paint. You can paint it any way you like. A very simple, easy to make outdoor sculpture out of outdoor, weather resistant paper mache. Please check us out on the web at DIYEasyCrafts.com. If you like this video, I ask that you please subscribe to this YouTube channel. And by all means, please check out our other how-to videos.